All right, let's try it again. Hey guys, my name is James Morgan. My YouTube channel is Captain J Morgan. This is my third try today on this live stream, so I apologize if anyone had joined in earlier and they couldn't get in, or it got cut. Okay, I'm gonna briefly discuss AMC and when the stock starts, running as it did last week, what some options are, and at least what my thoughts are and what my plans, at least for now, are, what I'm thinking, what my plans are. So, been in the stock since, if you see some of my past videos, you'll understand, or I explain how I got into it and when I got into it. But I've been in the stock since January of 21. Got into it on the first run. I FOMO'd into it, and then I cost averaged my position down quite a bit from when I initially got into it. So I have about 25,800 shares. I got the majority of those in February and March of last year, after it initially ran, then it came down. And so my price was under $10, or I average, and I've gotten maybe a few more thousand shares over the last 6 months or so. So I've seen that, I've seen what the stock has done throughout the last year, and especially last June. And last June it was exciting. It went up, and I've said this in other videos before too, that I just wasn't prepared for the way it ran in June. And so I did not know what I was going to do. And ever since then, I've really thought about it. And I thought if it, or when, because the shorts, at least in theory, they have to cover. I know there's a lot of shenanigans with the stock, and the stock market is, man, very corrupt compared to what I thought it was. And so, but we know that now. I think the people watching this video pretty much know. And so you just have to adjust. And that's, I believe, what everyone's doing now. So to that end, I have decided that, sorry, someone's kind of coming in the door over here. So I understand a lot of what's going on now. I think we all do, especially more than we did when we first got into the stock. So we understand that there's a lot of manipulation, a lot of shorting going on out there. Some of it legal, some of it illegal, or at least not within the rules. And I think we all know all the different things that are happening behind the scenes and in the stock market. And if you don't, there's so many good videos out there on YouTube that you can check out and just peruse. I peruse a lot of them almost every night right before I go to bed, because during the days I'm pretty busy. And knowing what I know now compared to what I did, a year ago, when the stock runs, I believe I'm going to get in front of a computer. It was hard for me last week. I was traveling, and I made a few videos while I was traveling because I had told people I would when it was running, but it was almost impossible for me to do any live videos for very long. So this week I'm prepared. If it does run, I will try to get on the computer here and do some live videos, because I think it's good for people who are going through like situations together to have somewhere to turn. I know when it ran in June, I was I was all over the internet and YouTube looking for information and sort of just wanting to get some uh, get some guidance. So what I'm going to do this time is try to get on, just if anything, just for support, and we can discuss it while it's going up. At least I hope I can this week, if it does start moving. Um, there's a guy named or a YouTube channel named Lion Trader that watch him a lot, and he's just gets right to the point. He doesn't have a lot of drama on his channel, uh, and he's been trading in the markets for years, and he has a lot of good information. And so I would suggest that you might look him up. And one of the reasons I mention him right now is because I see some comments coming in. I'll try to answer those here in just a minute. But one reason, getting back to Lion Trader, is back on March the 4th, he had an episode, and it was called The Squeeze Indicator. That was the name of his video. And what he did on that video, or what he talked about, was these Bollinger Bands. And so since I watched that video, I've learned a lot about Bollinger Bands. And I just got on Googled them and the words, and then also looked up some YouTube channels on it. And what they are is they help, especially in the case of if a stock is just moving quick, either up or down, and if it's starting to go parabolic or just squeeze and take a run, I think you guys might want to Google that and watch Lion Trader's video on March the 4th, and then go ahead and learn about Bollinger Bands. At least I have, and that's one thing I'll be doing if I start to see it squeeze. Is I'll pull up. I went on Sink or Swim, and I got my little chart set up, and I'm going to watch it that way, because there's the problem I see is, or what I've had an issue with is, it goes up, but I have no idea, what is the catalyst to be looking for knowing that, it's going to level out, or that it could go down. And I know there's no way to know exactly, but there are, there are indicators that if you know about and you're aware of, that can help guide you. And they're not 100% accurate or correct all the time, but at least it's something. And so, so that's what one thing I'm going to do, especially if it's taken just a really, if it's just shooting up, real quick, because I think the Bollinger Bands are good for that type of movement, because what they do is it will guide you within a range, within a certain range of how the stock is trading as far as its volume, and if there's how it's trending. And so and I think that helps, because it's hard to get real-time information, at least for me, compared to the big institutions or the guys on Wall Street. So that's one way. Then I'll be looking for channels that are going live also. I'll also have my percentages of what I want to get out of, and probably some set numbers too. Like, I know 100 is one of them. Once we pass 100, I'm going to be looking at, if it ever starts to look like it's going to dip back down under it, I'm going to probably get out of 10%, because in another video I was talking about, I have a little over 25,000 shares. And so at $100, and I have about $250,000 into this place. So at $100, I can, if I can sell 10% of my stock, which would be 2,500 shares, I'll get my, my initial investment back. So that's how I look at it. Now, everyone will be different. You might not want to get your initial investment back at the beginning, or if your initial investment, if you got in lower than averaging about $10 a share, then you could, depending on how many shares you have, you could do less. But at least that's my plan. I want to get out of some shares as sort of on a lower level as it's going up, so I can at least get my investment back. And I think it's important that we all have a win. To me, that will be at least an initial win, because we've been in this a long time. And hindsight's 2020, but if you this thing could, I've heard people say rinse and repeat, where it goes up and it comes back down. Last year, my brother-in-law was telling me that, man, he goes, you should play this to where you're selling it when it goes up, buying it when it goes down. But I worked for one. Two, I wasn't good at that. I wasn't, I'm not made to be like a day trader. And but I see from what I've seen over this past year that there is some there is something there to be said for what he was talking about, especially if these shorts haven't covered. Because what's going to happen is, I think they're going to, because they're making a ton of money when this goes when it goes up and down. I believe they're making some when it goes up and when it comes back down. And I know if everybody sold when that happened, they would start covering. But I think we can participate in that to a degree. So I don't know. Like I said, it's just going to be, I'm just going to play it by ear, because this is, it's hard as hell knowing when to get out of the stock. I went through the same thing when I started first trading a couple of years ago. I got into Tesla, and Tesla's where I made some good money. And but it was so volatile that I just, it was always stressful when to get in, when to get out. And with AMC, I pretty much have just stayed in it. But I realize now that I've got to really watch and see if the shorts are covering, and then how fast it runs. And also, one more catalyst that I should have said. I know I'm sort of rambling here. I probably shouldn't have made this video, but is if they stop this stock. And I know the last time they stopped it, I think it wasn't necessarily like the some nefarious or like and shenanigans, like when they took the buy button away. I think it was just an automatic stop because it shot up over 10% in 10 minutes. I think that's what it was. But regardless, whenever they stop it, it looks like in the last few years or in the last year, whenever this is something has happened, either a catalyst to where somebody came on the market and dumped some stock. I know that Adam Aaron did that. He announced he was going to, when it was running in June, and that pretty much killed the rally. And then he did it again in the later part of the year, and it did the same thing when the rally was going up. And then this time it was they stopped it from trading. So, but anytime there's a negative catalyst that sort of slows the stock up, or I believe it's going to happen like this too when they stop it, if it's going up too fast. You guys might want to look at selling right after that a small percentage, or one of your tranches or whatever, if it's at a decent price. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have sold any at this 34 or 5, but let's just say it went up to, and it was passing 100 and they stopped it at 110 or so. I'm probably going to get out of it as my 10% that I was saying earlier. I'd get out of to get my initial investment back at that time, because I think it uh, it always, it seems like it's killing it for a little bit, killing the rally. Um, but again, the shorts have to cover. So if the shorts aren't covering, or we can't see that on some we or if we can't see that on some news outlet, or we don't hear about it, or we can't verify that, then I think the play is still going on. And I might even buy back in, but I'm not good like that. I mean, it's hard for me to catch it when it's up, and then sell it when it's up, and buy back when it's low. But at least that's my plan. So I would look at Bollinger Bands. That's you spell it Bollinger. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Bollinger Bands. And to me, that's at least some type of indicator, because we're all going to be, when it starts going crazy, we're all going to be, excited. But what do we do? When do we get out? When is this thing, going to start retracing a little bit, or hopefully never retrace until we get out? So that's one thing. The other is I'm going to find a channel, or find some way to see if the shorts have covered, or watch a YouTube channel. And hopefully I'll be on too. So if anybody out there wants to at least converse, you'll have someone to converse with. I do think that I'd heard some people say that the transparency that the SEC was going to put on these hedge funds in the market is over with now, or it's been pushed to November, and I don't believe that's true. I did some research, and even the Line Trader talks about this too on one of his recent videos, and so I still think that that's in play. I think the comment period was over with, and then we just have to see when they're going to implement that, if they do, the SEC mean. But because I think there has to be some type of catalyst. The other catalyst could be if you short the stock. Not short the stock. Sorry, do options on this stock. But if you do them, don't do them so far out of, so far in the future and out of the money, because I think that actually can hurt the stock. But definitely doing some options can help a gamma squeeze, and then help this thing go. Also, which the latest thing was, the GME is talking about the stock split. And yeah, I think that could definitely help AMC as well, because they tend to run together, but it will just also help because if these hedge funds and the people who have loaned them the money, and the market makers, the banks, market makers, if they get pressured on that one, or if a liquidity becomes a problem for them on AMC, is going to be or GameStop is going to be just as much problem with AMC. So that could be a good catalyst. So the transparency coming can be a good one. The stock split with GME will be a good one. Just the fact that this is starting to get higher highs and lower lows is good. I know, don't get too down. Look where we were 2 weeks ago, or even 3 weeks ago. I think we're sitting at a lot better than we were then, and I think the near-term future looks really good too, with all that's going on in the world and in the stock market. And I think that AMC is sitting real well. So I know I sort of was all over the place about how to plan getting out, but basically just get a plan together. And so you might not stick to it, but at least you'll have it, and try to stick to it though. At least if you can. I know it's hard. Let me see what the comments are. I'm gonna have to put my glasses on for this. Probably get the hell off the deal. What's going on? Hope you are having a good day. Thank you. No, I don't do. I understand options, but I've done very few. I did. No, I've done a couple, but very few. Lion Trader number one. Yeah, Lion Trader is good. Set EMA to market is dead and most today and submitted. This is a future well. He's has some comments. Good plan in this market. Yeah, future well tells me I have too much money involved not to have a expert. It's probably right, but I'm going to go ahead and just I just really to this to the future well here. I just don't trust anyone more than I trust myself. And if I'm going to make a mistake, I'll make it. And I don't want to be sound conceited or because I'm the first one that'll tell you I don't know what I'm doing a lot of times, but I just think I've got to manage and I never really thought I was greedy, but I've got to manage my, uh, you know, my emotions on this. And like if I had to do this again and we were at $70, I would know that uh, when the news came out, it was actually Adam Aaron came out and he said he was going to put 11 million shares on the uh, he was going to sell up to 11 million shares, and it killed the stock, or it started coming down. It didn't just dive down, but it went from about 70 to within a couple of days, it was in the 40s, and it went back up to 50, but it hurt it. And next time, I think I will definitely get out of some stock, at least enough to cover what I have in it. And then people say, "Ah, well, and don't worry about what other people say because it's not their money." But I definitely don't want to kill any momentum of the stock or anything like that. But my few shares aren't going to when I get out of them aren't going to hurt the momentum of the stock. I want to get as much as I can, just like everybody else. Um, but I don't know, when that is, and I don't want to be greedy. I really thought the stock was going to go up a lot more. Probably what I should have done when I saw it leveling out, if I'd have known about Bollinger Bands or if I'd have known about, where to go to check things out, I could have seen a trend going, and I probably would have got out of some, at, in the 50s or around the 50 because it was in the 45 to 50 for a long time, and I never got out of any. And then if it starts going back up, I can just buy back in, but buy less. And if it goes down, I definitely, would buy more. And I have every time it's gone down a significant amount, I've bought more. Because at the time last year, I just had a little bit over 20,000, and I've probably bought around 4,000 over this last year. I thought it was around 2, but I think it's 4. So when it dips, I buy as much as I can. So appreciate you guys commenting, and few of you who have watched this video. Hopefully it just gives you guys some support that there's other people out there just like you, and we're all sort of experiencing this and going through it together, and a plan is needed. If you got anything out of this video, go to the Lion Trader. He's very good. I'll announce a few more people that I watch also. Learn about Bollinger Bands, or at least that's my recommendation. And because if this thing starts going parabolic, I'm sure we'll all be in front of the uh, computer and watching it. But when it dips a little bit or when it levels out, then it's a time to get out. Is this thing about to crash? And I think at least the theory is in those Bollinger Bands that you can see the trend and you sort of see it coming. Because I don't think any of us are going to get at the peak of a run, but we don't want to be at the bottom if it starts retracing either. And again, don't feel like you're. At least my opinion is, don't feel like you're letting the community down because you're selling. It's about yourself, and it's also about the community too. But the community should understand if they're truly in this community, that they understand that we're all struggling with this and that we all want to do the best we can for ourselves and and each other in this thing, because I think this is a movement that has created it's going to create a change in the way the markets run and the way the whole system runs. So I guess that's it for now. I can't think of anything else except for watch when it halts. I've seen this on other stocks. There's been a lot of halting throughout the whole world in the different stock markets here lately, and even in the U.S. markets, and it almost always kills a rally. Now, maybe when AMC is going parabolic and it's over $100 and it won't kill it because everyone's just waiting to jump back in. But I think at these low levels, it hurts it. But I think that's one catalyst to look for when it's running, and watch it real close after a halt. And if it starts, and that's why if you have these Bollinger Bands, at least my theory is, after a halt, you'll see if it goes if it goes outside these standard deviation lines that are, I think it's 2 that are running, that you'll understand if you look up on the Bollinger Bands. But if it goes outside those lines, or if it starts turning and going down, then that's an indicator that it might be time to get out. And then you look at it real close and you watch it. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to have my different tranches that I think it's going to be 10, 20, 20, 20, 20, and 10. And then I will have my probably price targets that I'm looking at. And I think when it hits it, I will, if it's keeps going up, I'll probably just wait. But like, say I had a price target at 100, it's not necessarily I'm going to hit it at 100 for the first 10%. But if it goes past 100 and it's going 110, 20, I'll let it go ahead and go. And then when it starts either leveling out or start coming down, of course, that's when I'll get out of that first one and then go to my second tranche of wherever I thought it, whatever percentage of amount of stock that is, and then at whatever price level I thought too. So hopefully I made some sense here. And look at some of my other videos. I think they were, and believe it or not, I think they were a little bit better. But I'm going to try to keep posting videos. I just haven't done this in a while. And that's it, man. Thank you guys very much. My channel is Captain J Morgan. My email is captainjmorgan2021@gmail.com. Feel free to send me an email. I'll try to do videos daily, and especially I'll try to be on, because I do have my own business. If I can get away from it, I will. And I know this thing's running again, I'll try to come on and just be there. I think that's it. All right. Thank you very much. It's Captain J Morgan signing off. See you on the next one. Appreciate it.